Good evening, folks. And tonight we're going to talk about the first college football playoff polls. Okay? Now, before we start, hit the like bell, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications, and now we'll go on. Number 1 is Oregon. Number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, Georgia. Number 4, Miami. Number 5, Texas. Number 6, Penn State. Number 7, Texas. Number 8, Indiana. Number 9, BYU. Number 10, Notre Dame. Number 11, Alabama. Number 12, Boise State. Number 13, SMU. Number 14, Texas A&M. Number 15, LSU. Number 16, Ole Miss. Number 17, Iowa State. Number 18, Pittsburgh. Number 19, Kansas State. Number 20, Colorado. Number 21, Washington State. Number 22, Louisville. Number 23, Clemson. Number 24, Missouri. Number 25, Army. Now these all come down to certain things. Strength of schedule, opponent they played, and multiple other things. Now, we're going to talk about the scores of how they got there. Well, obviously, Oregon is unbeaten. They just won their last game, 38-17. Plus, they also beat Ohio State by a point, 32-31. Now, Ohio State, on the other hand, they just beat Penn State, who's ranked 6th. And Penn State's only got one loss on their ranking. So, that is another reason. Plus, so it's 38-17. They beat Michigan, 38-17 Oregon. Ohio State beat Penn State, 20-13. Then Georgia, who ended up beating Florida, 34-20. Then Miami, who obliterated Duke. I can't necessarily say obliterated, but pretty much all dominated Duke. 53-31, but the 31 points is kind of alarming to me. Because they allowed Duke... Because that's kind of allowing Duke to stay in the game. Because if you got 53 points and you allow 31 points, that's pretty bad. Now, Texas, they were put on upset alert. They almost got upset by Vandy again. Now, I'm so surprised Vandy didn't make the cut, considering Alabama was the team that beat them. Now, Georgia will have another chance to play Alabama again. This time, probably in the SEC Championship. So, this will be a replay between the two. But Alabama was ahead of Georgia for a while, but then they got beat by Vanderbilt, and that dropped them out of the top 10. So, then now they're just one behind. Now, if the playoffs, the top 12 teams, if you want to view them all, is Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia, Miami, Texas, Penn State, Tennessee, Indiana, BYU, Notre Dame, Alabama, and Boise State. Those are your top 12 opponents. Everybody else right now is out. Just those 12. Now, we won't go over the bracket maybe till a little later. I might print out a bracket for your potentially top 12 opponents. And how that might work out. How it potentially might work out if this was today's situation. So, now, with that being said, who do they all play? Oregon, after their 38-17 stomping of Michigan, they get Maryland. Then Ohio State, after their 2013 win over Penn State, a good game that was, they take on Purdue. And then you have Georgia, who takes on Ole Miss. They take on, after their 34-20, they take on Ole Miss. Then you have Miami taking on Georgia Tech. Then Penn State taking on Washington after their loss to Ohio State. They take on Washington, so who knows how that'll be. Then after Tennessee's 28-18 win over Kentucky, they take on Mississippi State. And then after Indiana's 47-10 win over Michigan State, they take on Michigan. So that's going to be an interesting game there. And then after BYU's 37-24 win over UCF, they take on Utah. Then after Notre Dame's 51-14 stomping of Navy, they take on Florida State. Then after Alabama's 34-0 stomping of Missouri, they take on LSU. That'll be a good game. I'm looking forward to that one. Then after Boise State's 56-24 win over San Diego State, they take on Nevada. And then SMU just got done beating out Pittsburgh, 48-25. They take on Boston College on the 16th. Then Texas A&M, who got beat by LSU, 38-23, will take on New Mexico State on the 16th. And then LSU, who beat Texas A&M, 38-23, will take on Alabama. Obviously, we just saw that. Now, Ole Miss, who ended up beating Mississippi, who ended up beating Arkansas 63-31. Now, Iowa State lost a very tough one to, I didn't write the team down, but they lost 23-22. And they take on Kansas next, so that's going to be a tough one for them. Then SMU beat out Pittsburgh. Then Houston surprises Kansas State 23-19. Kansas State will take on Arizona. But then Pittsburgh, I forgot about Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh takes on Virginia. But LSU will take on Alabama, obviously. Ole Miss takes on Georgia, so we know that. Iowa State takes on Kansas. So we got that all taken care of. Then Colorado, they take on Texas Tech. Washington State takes on Utah State. They had a bye. Then Louisville took on Clemson and beat out and upset Clemson 33-21. Then Louisville, then that switched them to 22, and then Clemson is 23rd. Louisville will take on Stanford, while Clemson will take on Virginia Tech. Now, after Missouri's big flat-out thumping by Alabama, being blanked by Alabama, they'll take on 34-0 blanked by Alabama. They'll take on Oklahoma. Then after Army's big win over Air Force, 20-3, they take on North Texas. Now, what these wins and what they mean, it shows you what they really mean a lot to everybody. It just shows you how good they really were. I mean, 63-31, Ole Miss over Arkansas. I see them having issues with Georgia, honestly. I mean, Arkansas, I'm not really sure is even that good, honestly. They just somehow managed to score a lot of points with the second string in, maybe. I don't really know. Georgia, I think they might have what it takes to win against Ole Miss. I don't know. But it is what it is. Now, I got other things I got to take care of. With that being said, I'm going to do some more studying on some other things. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.